This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
You know, if we had to put a title on this podcast today alone here, it probably would be Do What You Think Is Right. And in speaking with her in the past, that's what she's done. There's been some repercussions apparently from that, which we're going to dig back into today. And she has an ability to connect into the other side and energy around us as a psychic. And she gets things, she shares them. And sometimes there's things that come from that. She's our professional of the year. Psychic Stacy is back with us. How is everything in your world today?
As always, interesting, but thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you alluded before we jumped on here that you're getting contacted from people around the world, India, California.
Yes, I was, and not in a good way. One of it, sometimes inappropriate. And no, it's not a dating site. No, I'm not a. No, I also am sent strategically a lot of people, and not only me exposing crimes and RICO crimes, but also people closer to me, people I'm no longer speaking to, and I'm referring to, unfortunately, family, but that, yeah, I'm no longer speaking with. So, yes, I was contacted by somebody just last night he was from India. Now, whether he's calling from India, I don't know. It was on Instagram. And it's like, how can I help you? And no, if you're going to go this route. No, he directly called me without setting an appointment, without saying, and I'm going, no, this is not kosher. I get approached. I'm being sent a lot of people not only to test me, I get copycat energy. I get people that are trying to shut me down. Also, people want me to shut up. And I don't know if you did anything for Halloween, if you went out and celebrated on Halloween, or if you do that sort of thing. That I did go out and film, and yeah, I did get a little dressed up.
We probably did the same thing in different parts of the country, because I know you love live music and bands. That's
Yep.
I went to a venue, costume thing.
Yep.
Been to the venue before, and two bands were playing there, and that's my thing. That's your thing.
Yep, that was well, and of course I film, so that is just, and I knew there was some great music going on, and it was wild, but the catalyst for that, I was online and I could tell that I know when it's interference or if I'm just messing up my words, but usually I can feel the energy, and that they don't want me to be online because I'm stating who I am, what I go after, what I'm there for. And the more I put myself out there, the more I expose everybody for not only the defamation of character that's been strategically placed there for a variety of reasons. And, some of it just simply greed, theft. And I've talked about this. I've also talked about others like myself that are going through some of the same experiences. And, with the person in India, I just said, no, not going to talk with you. This doesn't feel legit, doesn't feel, kosher, and so I shut it down. And the person from LA supposedly wanted some work, but I could feel that they were coming after me. I could feel the intensity. I also picked up some energy that I did not like. And I said, if you're not kosher with me, yeah, we can set this up. But if you're not being honest with me, if I can see through it, you may be able to block me, you may be able to deter me, you may be able for a little bit, but sooner or later, no, I'm going to know what you're doing. And I could feel it. And I could feel that this was a test. It was also to shut me down. It was also a variety of things. And I won't get into that because I picked up on some energy that was not good. And he was not confirming some of that, and some of it was not good. So I could feel attacked, but it just, what I do is send it back. I protect myself. I block it. Not only that, I protect others as well. But no, we're not going to do this. So anybody sending their way, anybody forging documents that's not my signature, anybody putting me out there that's defamation of character, anyone putting me in false power of attorneys, cannot do that. I think I've missed a few court dates that somebody hasn't told me about. Blocked mail, blocked people from coming towards me. Also, you name it, the list goes on. And
what do you think is the reason that people are reaching out to you in this way?
Because they want to, some of it, obviously, once again, I will reiterate, there are people in the upright, people trying to do the right thing, whether that be law enforcement, medical, people of my, spiritually wise, there are always people out there trying to do the right thing. But unfortunately, there's been a shift here, and this has been a long time coming, that it's now reversing, that people are wanting to, especially people that are exposing people like myself, whistleblowers, any one of the above, they're trying to expose things. They want you to shut up. So, but what they do use, and the people close around me, they either hire it out or they themselves are doing it through cult covens, secret societies, which do exist, unfortunately. But they use means of, using witchcraft, dark magic, and yes, it can initially, but I'm able to shut it down and send it back. So it will not, if you're in the upright, if you're here doing what you need to do, it will, reverberate back to the person that sent it or to the people involved. So what's happening now is the energy is shifting. We've had too much of this dark energy and other things occurring, but it's tables are turning. It's flipping around. And, and I also wanted to bring up the what we call snuff films. And unfortunately, these are just horrendous. Not to say that everything else isn't, but snuff films were supposedly a wives' tale, something that didn't occur, but I'm going, no, it actually does. And with the advent of the internet, with the advent of online, you've heard of people being killed online. Well, this is what they call snuff films, but they make a film out of it, and
Get out.
and then,
really?
yes, and they distribute it worldwide, and some of that's known to be in LA. I've heard about it, unfortunately, in my neck of the woods. It's very underground, but it also relates to human organ trafficking, human trafficking. So when people start disappearing, human trafficking, human organ trafficking, other things going on, sex trafficking, pedophile rings, and also snuff films, yes, and being distributed across the seas in Europe, whether it be in UK, Ireland, unfortunately, all these countries. But I also know that this is definitely being found out. They're exposing this. It's coming to the surface, and people, the upright, the people that are still of human kind, are exposing this. And I've had people connect up with me, telling me that especially my gifts and abilities, and about that it's been hidden, that I have people using me for my gifts and abilities. And yes, we're bringing up certain intelligence agencies and being used and not known about this, being placed in certain projects, if you will, that unknowingly to me, and this has been since I've been a child and way before I was born. Also, allegedly, maybe I was born in a different country, and also some other things going on that things not clear. But it's all wrapped up in here, all wrapped up in my gifts and abilities and exposing things and people for not doing the right thing. And unfortunately, sometimes you have the people closest to you that unfortunately are partaking. And some of those people, I'm not even too sure who they are at this point in time. So it's about doing the right thing. It's about exposing. It's about people being alert and knowing that this does exist, unfortunately. But the first step in exposing it and putting it out there and ending it and obliterating it is to awareness. But also it needs participation. It needs people caring and wanting to do the right thing and having the integrity and wherewithal to know that, yeah, I need to partake of this. This is why people that are whistleblowers, and when they're acting solely or just with a small group, it's about, divide and conquer. They want to shut you up. And they do not want this out there because it exposes everything that's been going on for a very long time, too long. But yes, snuff films on live, they go on live. They a lot of times will use the disenfranchised people that go missing suddenly, children, you name it, women, men, and they lure them into, sometimes as other ways, deceitful ways, and before you know it, you're on live. And yes, they distribute these movies. I was hoping, put it that way, that they didn't exist, but they do. And it's been underground for quite a while, but it's coming full circle. And I'm hoping that upright law enforcement, upright intelligence agencies are listening, and this is the whole intent. I'm here to help them. I'm here to help anyone else. There's, some very upright people in the spiritual community, whether they do tarot, they're exposing it. Phenomenal people in that realm, well, they're exposing what I do, but we expose corruption, we expose RICO crimes, we expose a lot. And this is what we're meant here to do. But we have to have others on board in whatever capacity that might be. We are meant to not only live in our authenticity, but create a world which most of us want to raise children in and live safely and comfortably in, but that is not the case. And while I see some definitely good people doing some good things out there, we need to expose all of this. We need to put a kibosh. We need to put an end to this.
What are you getting now? Anything coming up for you? Anything that, and if you don't want to go into specifics, but just the topic?
Meaning just the energy in full.
The category of what you might be feeling right now, whether you want to go deeper into talking about it or not, but anything coming up for you at this time?
As far as, I guess I'm trying to surmise, meaning with what I just said about the.
Well, I mean, you've spoken before about trafficking.
Yes.
You've spoken before about injustice
Yes.
and such, organ harvesting.
Yes. And it's all full circle. It's all connected, unfortunately. But there's also, people using dark magic. They don't literally physically use a gun, but you can do things. Now, if you're here to do the upright, if you're here living in your purpose and you are doing the right thing, it's well-intentioned, it's going to bounce off. It's going to go back to the person that sent it. And we've discussed this before, that if people do things of that, but they're using it and they've been using it for decades and decades. This has been going on forever, the use of this, but it more so, and then they cloak it in that through other institutions, through other avenues, or cloaking themselves or in plain sight. People are the great, imposter. Well, in this case, really the ability to cloak themselves and present themselves to be much different than what they truly are. The grand illusion, or delusion is sometimes what I say, but that are allowed to participate in these crimes and do certain things. But if you're very sensitive to energy, if you're anyone like myself, you're going to know what it is. And I can tell you, no, that's going on. No, that just happened. And sometimes, yes, like-minded people like myself confer with other people. And it's sometimes just to get confirmation or more of a sounding board and people to relate to. But this exists, and it allows, unfortunately, other crimes to be committed. And it allows it to keep it hidden under the radar. And once again, I go back to Hitler and those days of, how did 6 million Jews go? And obviously, we didn't have the advent of the internet or all of the technology we have today, but how would you get that many? Well, once again, and it's well documented that he practiced with the SS troops of using dark magic, satanic magic, and practicing it, and if you will, religiously every day. And they did this repeatedly every day for years, and would confer. So, and 6 million Jews later, and once again, we find the certain energy popping right back up. And, neo-Nazi organizations, unfortunately, but it's recycling out. And like I said, violence begets violence, hatred begets hatred. But we have to be aware. We have to push ourselves to do better, and do better not only for this the people around us, but this world. It is collapsing in among us. We cannot let this continue the rate it's going. And we have to put a moratorium on people who use the dark magic, that knowing it exists and knowing that it can harm people and literally put an end to people, and also allow them to do very heinous crimes.
What's in you that doesn't hold back this information? You know that there could be some repercussions. You've experienced it before.
Yes.
Why don't you hold it in and just say, I forget it?
No, because I'm here to do that. There are certain people and I know that there are certain people here to do certain things, and we're all here to do things. We're all here put on earth to do, but upright, live in our authenticity and our purpose, to make this place a better world. As we see, a lot of that has not taken place, but I'm here. I know. I've known from a younger age. I've always felt different. In some ways, I've known I am different. I've always been for the underdog, for the disenfranchised, for the people that could not speak for themselves. I've always been a champion. I've known what it's like to be ganged up on, to be bullied, to have someone not speak up for you, and to think that they're entitled, that it's a-okay, but it is not. It is not okay. And like I've said before, enough is enough. I noticed I said that phrase, and I saw it. I said that weeks ago, that phrase, and I've been saying that phrase. I've noticed it popped up in certain people that are using it, and I like to think that either they might be listening or that I've hopefully inspired some others as well. But enough is enough.
Mm. You know, a song just dropped in my head, and a lot of times I think of music, and it's Tom Petty's "I Won't Back Down." It kind of sounds like it's you, where no
Yep,
matter what,
I,
I
I
won't back down.
relate to that song. Yes, and yes, and it does.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. I
Ye-
relate to the song, and it does pop up for me when I know that the other outside energy forces, and there is darker, demonic. Not everybody is human, and people don't want to discuss that. Uh, but they're also energy living among us.
mm.
You've heard of angels, you've heard of people that are here
Sure.
to help, to protect, to carry out certain missions. I've been told when I was learning more about who I am in the past and I was told this many years ago, that I'm on a double mission, is what they call. And I said, well, it sure as hell feels like it. And
Well,
then some.
I'm sure that you're not alone in this, that others, not necessarily with psychic ability, but know certain things and either hold it
Yeah.
in or speak their truth and suffer the repercussions. If they want to reach out to you, be it for reading or even just a talk, is there a way to reach you?
Yes, only if it's legitimate. And it's because you want a reading, or you want some information, or you want some guidance and help.
Sure.
Stacy, psychic medium at .com, at Facebook and Instagram, and I think it's S Mongar, Mongar, on Facebook, but Stacy the Psychic Medium would be a good way.
Gotcha.
.com on Instagram. So
Yeah.
yes,
Thanks for your transparency as always. And, I believe it helps others, if they're in a similar situation, what to do. Appreciate
well,
you being here again today.
it's, and thank you so much. It's to help bring awareness and to wake up people. But thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.